Actually, it's afternoon, so I have got a whole lot to share with you, but at the same time, I really don't have all that much. I know that I hadn't given you an update the majority of the week, like I only done one or two videos. I had a rough week last week where my rate was up more than what I preferred, and I'm trying to center myself. That's better. Anyway, I really didn't like the rate that I was last week. And on the one video that I had posted for you all, more or less, I had a rant trying to figure things out, and I really, I struggled. I did. And I thought that I'd screwed myself up and everything because the highest that I saw was 225. And that like freaked me out. So I really didn't do anything. I just drank my water and, done the same old, same old. I think it was Friday, Wednesday or Friday. I don't remember. That I had done some decent dancing to. I've got a playlist of good dance songs, good dance Christian songs, and I had danced to 5 of those, and that's pretty well about the most cardio that I had done. Last week I did do a little bit of shoveling, but that wasn't much. And then I had to do a little bit of repair work on the underside of the eave next to the garage, and that really seriously wasn't anything either. So that and a little bit of dancing was about it. I really didn't do any cardio whatsoever. But surprisingly, all of a sudden, I started urinating real good, almost like a dam broke. Seriously, not just a little bit of urination, but good long urination, free flowing and long, and like often. For the past 3 nights at least 3 nights, I have gotten up anywhere from 2 to 4 times in the night to urinate. So obviously the gain was a very big fluid retention. Now, it had happened that just a couple weeks prior, I was drinking RC Cola, and it was cherry flavored, and it was good. But the one thing that I had discovered, and I had done this experiment late of 2023 or early of 2024, I'd done video on it. And I'd done a test because, people has declared they lost weight by not drinking soda and all that. And So, I had done the test some time ago, and I had stopped drinking the soda, but I was still drinking coffee. And sure enough, my stomach didn't feel so bloated. I wasn't suffering from acid reflux. the swelling in my hands was starting to go down. I didn't feel lethargic. And I did actually lose weight in 4 days. If I remember correctly, I don't remember how much I had weighed. Might have been like 222, 223, something like that, drinking the soda. And after 4 days, if I remember correctly, I was down to like 218 or something like that. I do know that in 4 days, I had lost an incredible amount of weight just from dropping the soda. So I had noticed that when I was drinking the RC a couple weeks ago, that I had started having sharp pains in my right kidney, which my right kidney has got a non-cancerous cyst, and so it's easily irritated anyway. And uh, I had started feeling the sharp pains, that familiar pain when you get a kidney stone. And then, like last week, the sharp pain got into my bladder, and it was a consistent sharp throb, a consistent sharp throb. And then at one point when I peed, because when there's that sharp throbbing from a stone, for me personally, it causes me to have to urinate. So I went and urinated, and I didn't feel anything come out, but at some point, like the second time I urinated after the sharp pains had started, all of a sudden, like it went from what felt like a thick, sifted urination to a free flowing urination. And after that, I have been really urinating very well. Um, and it's been extremely consistent. Unfortunately, it's also more or less keeping me from getting full sleep during the night because I'm up multiple times. Last night was odd. I had, before I go to bed, I like to give the Father my night, my sleep, and my dreams. And I had asked him that I wouldn't have to get up and urinate so much. That way I could get a full sleep. And the craziest thing, because it's not unusual for me to like feel a little bit of acid when I lay down. And then, like, I can take me antacid, and then it curbs it, and I'm fine for the rest of the night. Well, I felt that familiar burn, and I took the antacid, laid down on my side, and I felt the burn again. I thought, okay. So I got up and I went to urinate because I had to go urinate, and I came back and I took another antacid, laid back down on my side, and then I had to get up again and urinate. And this time I had a really good emptying, so to speak, a real good 20-minute toilet call. And I thought, okay, everything's good, everything's good. So I went back to bed and laid down on my side again. And then I woke up with acid in my lungs. I have never suffered acid reflux 3 times in a night. And I hate it when the acid gets in my lungs because that hurts so bad. And I jumped up and I went to the toilet, and it was I think it was around 6:30 this morning. So I threw up, and the strange thing is, like, when you have to vomit, you taste the acid as it's coming through. I don't know what I vomited, but there was no taste. There wasn't any acid until the very last burp that I had. And when that came out, the acid was so strong it burned my tonsils, my esophagus. I mean, it was the most painful acid I had ever suffered, ever. And my tonsils are still sore. They're still sore. I can feel the effects a little bit in my chest too. But at least now I don't have the acid in my lungs. It finally did cough out. But it was a really strange night. So I really didn't get the sleep that I needed. I do not know what caused that. I did have me a few jelly beans last night, but the green colored and the yellow colored, like the yellow didn't exactly taste like lemon, but it wasn't so bad. But the green almost tasted like a cleaner that you would use. Almost tasted like a cleaner. Like, first bite, you almost tasted its fruitiness, and then it became like chemical, like, and I couldn't eat the green ones at all. So I've still got some jelly beans left. All the other flavors tasted fine: the licorice, the grape, the cherry, the white, whatever flavor that is. But the green and the yellow, every green and yellow that I come across, I'm just going to throw away. And it was horrible. So I had wanted to do a 3,000 calorie a day challenge this week to really try my best to hit 3,000 calories burned, including my resting burn. Uh, but because I had a restless night, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be able to do. Um, I don't know how much I would be able to push myself to do, because, like, I'm not necessarily exhausted, but I'm not energetic right now. And my good friend was asking me this morning how my challenge was going, or if I was even going to be starting it today. And I just told her that I had a rough night, and I didn't believe I was going to do the challenge today, but whatever calorie burn I do will be that. but I still want to do the challenge this week. So even if I don't do a total of 3,000 calories today, hopefully I'll be able to start it tomorrow. And, but as I told her, I am still not counting. I'm not counting calories anymore, but I am recording on Fitbit my food. So, I am definitely doing that. So for breakfast this morning, I had 1 egg with milk to fluff it up because I like them scrambled. I do not eat sunny side up or Benedict or whatever they call that, where it's a partially raw boiled egg. I don't do the runny half done or anything like that. I like mine thoroughly cooked and scrambled. So that's what I had: 1 scrambled egg, 1 sausage patty, half a cup of my Greek yogurt, and 10 ounces of my iced coffee. And according to Fitbit, that made my first meal just a little over 1,600 or a little over 600 calories. I think I read 618. And I looked at my macros, and the carb count, even though it's still the highest, was extremely low in comparison. In reality, my highest macro was fat, but at least it's good, healthy fat and not nasty, accumulated fat. It's good, healthy fat that can be utilized as energy immediately. And my protein for the day, the start for protein is 22 grams, which I'm happy about that because I'm always trying to get more protein in where I'm getting older. And the older a person gets, the more their muscles break down. And so I'm always trying to get more protein in. So starting out with 22 grams of protein with my first meal is a plus. So I'm very happy with that. I don't know how many calories I will end up with by the end of the day, but I believe I'll be able to keep all this under control because we just went shopping Saturday, and so I made sure to get foods that I do enjoy and does satisfy me so that I can have a more balanced meal throughout the day. And so I've started out very good this morning. I just wish that I had been able to start out also burning the calories. But I'm not going to fuss about it because of last night and for the last few nights. So, but to get to the weight, as I had told you, last week my rate was high. Like, let me see here. Go back to the month of April. Let's see. Month of April. Where's that puppy? There's that puppy. The calendar's got puppies. Okay, so yeah, my highest rate was 225, and that was on the 28th of April. And then I had dropped down to 222, and I had stayed 222 for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday I was back up to 224, and then Friday I was back down to 222, and then for Saturday and yesterday I weighed the same at 221.6. So this morning when I weighed myself, as I'd said, after uh, after I had the sharp pains in my bladder, and I had noticed that my ankles and feet were swelling. So I kind of knew that it had to have been fluid retention. But the way that I've been urinating during the day and during the night for the past few days, I was relieved to see that I was losing the fluid retention. And I weighed myself this morning, and I didn't exactly know what I was looking at. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. Pardon, that's part of the soreness in my tonsil from the acid. But anyway, I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I saw 218.7. 218.7, and I stared at it, and I just like, am I 228? I mean, I don't know if it was where I was still half asleep or where I'd been seeing the 220s for so long or what, but and then it dawned on me, 18, 218, that's out of the 220s. And like, when it dawned on me what I was actually looking at, I'm like, I almost started crying. And so I got on the scale again, and it showed me at 220.1. I thought, why'd I step on it again? I need to just accept it. So I got on the scale again to see if I could duplicate the 218.7, because I don't know what I had done to even get that to come up. And this time I saw a real quick flash of 218.8, but then it flipped up to 219.4. I thought, okay. So I tried it again, 219.4. A third time, 219.4. All right, so this morning, 219.4. After all last week, my rate staying between 222 and 225 and 224, and like all along it had been fluid retention. Now I still wish that I had started the month at 215, because I am on the goal to be 200 pounds by June 1st. But for me to finally see me out of the 220s is encouraging. And this is only the 5th. So I've got 3 whole weeks to lose as much as possible. And I honestly don't know how it's going to go, how it's going to happen. But however much I weigh by June 1st, being 200 pounds would be absolutely awesome. But however much I weigh, I'm just going to carry the challenge over to the full month of June into July. and try to still reach the goal. Originally, I had thought that I would attempt 15 pounds in the month of June, which would make it like 185 pounds. But if I'm not 200 pounds by June 1st, then I'll just try to make it a goal of maybe 190 or whatever I need to do to adjust it according to how much I will weigh on June 1st. So I'm going to try to stay very optimistic about this, because what I really need to consider, even though it's took a little bit of time and I really didn't put 100% effort into it until I had attempted to do the challenge for 50,000 steps on the 25th of May, or of March rather, I'm sorry. It was for the month of March, was it? Pretty sure it was for the month of March. That's January. I'm having to refer all these different dates and stuff. It's all right. So it was of March, the 25th of March. I had started a challenge to reach 50,000 steps in 30 days. And that's when I had really put stronger effort. Which I had picked up walking originally in January to attempt to lose the weight anyway, and I couldn't even hardly do 7,000 steps in this house. And at that time, it was a little bit too cold for me to walk outside. And then I had started walking outside, and I just bundled up. And the wind was crazy, as it always is. But I managed, and then that challenge really helped boost me a little bit for my walking and everything. And but I had to quit because a couple weeks ago I came close to having a heat stroke, and I had to go into recuperation, and knowing the temperatures that they would be getting hotter. But this is the really strange thing. Since I had canceled that challenge, which more or less I postponed it to finish it in the fall when the temperatures would start falling, the temperatures have been staying comfortable in the 70s and low 80s. But here's the clincher. We've also been having so much rain. I've already gotten some warnings for today that we're expecting thunderstorms. We had thunderstorms 4 days out of the week last week. So my walking, like, I've attempted to just walk like early morning so much, and then in the evening so much, and just call it a day. But that hasn't worked out because last week was rain. And the week before, like, I was starting out all right, but because I had took so many days off on walking, I found myself more or less getting weak. And so it's just all been screwed up. But somehow or another, the Lord has shown me great mercy, and the rate is continuing to come off. Even though it's been slow, it keeps coming off. And so in January, I weighed up to 235. Up to. Um, Like in the morning, I would weigh myself and I would be 234. But I had took a picture of myself when I was very close, around 235. I was bloated. My stomach was hard. I was miserable. I was in pain. And so I figured that I was very easily 235 pounds. And I've been working on getting that back down since. So to now be 219 since January is good. That makes me what 16 pounds. Yeah, 16 pounds. Round about 16 pounds lost in 4 months. When I look at it like that, that's not much. But to me, it's not like counting how many pounds is gone, but it's me seeing the numbers coming down. Because when you look at the numbers differently, you see 135 and you see 219. To you, in your mind's eye, that is a big difference in number, a very big difference in number. So, um, even though I've been up and down, in and out, trying to stick with the plan, and between the weather and natural causes, physically not being able to complete any challenge that I set out to do, I have still really been blessed, and I'm grateful to Father for showing me mercy. And from 219, it will be interesting to see how much I weigh by the end of this week, especially if I can get started on the 3,000 calorie burn, which, you know what, I'm not counting on the 3,000 calorie burn to be my reason for losing weight, but I would kind of like to just jolt my body a little bit, kind of trick it some, because that is one thing that really helps with weight loss. What I've heard, what I've read, that the body gets accustomed to what you're doing and then it stops losing the weight. So maybe that's what's really going on. I keep tricking it, which I still give God the glory. But all right, so I take it. I take it. But like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to do the 3,000 burn today because of how I'm feeling physically right now with the lack of sleep. But hopefully I will be able to start it tomorrow, and then every day, starting tomorrow, every day I do 3,000 calorie burn, because also what I'm wanting to do on top of burning 3,000 calories, I'm wanting to at least eat only half in calories from what I burned. So that would mean up to around 1,500 calories ate. And by the end of the week, I'm wanting to tell you how I feel. If I feel more energetic, or if I feel lighter, or more motivated, or what, just kind of give you a prognosis of how I feel after doing the 3,000 calorie challenge. What I'll do after that, I have no idea. I truly have no idea, but that's my plans. Of course, with the way that things keeps looking, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be able to stick to the plan because everything just does not work out. Yes, I can walk the house. Yes, I can do strength training. Yes, I can dance to my playlist. That will be all fine and dandy. There are other things I can do to add the calorie burn. I'll just have to see what I can do because I am wanting to add walking to that. And I can't walk very much in this house, not very easily because of it being concrete floor. It really puts a lot of pressure on my ankles and knees and hips. So I can only manage so much walking in this house. But if I'll be able to walk any at all during the week, then last night I had seen a gentleman who was showing how to do a core exercise without sit-ups or crunches. And so I'm thinking about adding that routine because I gave it a small shot with him last night as he was demonstrating what to do. I done a little bit of it, and sure enough, I felt in my gut what he was explaining. And so I believe it would be effective. It doesn't necessarily give you a six pack, but what it does is it strengthens your core muscles, the entire girdle muscle that goes from your stomach around your ribs into your back. And so I felt my stomach muscles engage, but I felt the pain in my back, and it wasn't like an injured pain. It wasn't the kind of pain that you feel when you're injured. It was the kind of pain that you feel when a muscle you haven't used is being used. And so uh, I think that will do a big difference for me to do that type of strength training with that guy so that I can strengthen my girdle even better. The planks are wonderful. They do strengthen the back, they do strengthen the stomach, they strengthen the shoulders, the legs. I mean, the planks are awesome. But there must be a point of muscle that still isn't utilized in the planks. So, whatever the case, I'd be able to do the planks even easier after doing this specific exercise every day. So, I am going to add that to my routine of strength training, my push ups and my planks. I'm going to go back to adding the donkey kicks as well, and I'm going to add the routine that that gentleman had showed. That way I can strengthen my entire girdle region as well. So um, it really, there would be calorie burn in that, but it won't be a significant amount. But the one thing that really makes a big difference with weight loss is when you build muscle. And that is definitely one thing that I have managed to do with all the attempts of walking. I have strength trained my legs, especially my thighs, and doing the strength training on the floor. So I'm building muscle, which burns more calories than just cardio, because muscle, the metabolism from the muscles, even in the night when you're asleep, burns calories. So, um, burns fat. I'm wanting to burn calories, but I'm also wanting to burn fat. And the best way to do that is just continue working toward building the muscles, because the muscles do have a very hot metabolism that's awesome for burning fat. So that's pretty well where I'm at right now. Very little sleep, shocking weight loss, a whole lot of urination. I want to do a challenge that has been put on hold at least for a day, and still just really shocked at the rate for this morning. But I do look forward to doing things a little better. And I am learning in all this, where I'm really trying. I am learning things in this. I am learning how that my body really prefers wholesome foods over junk food, even though I am allowing myself to eat junk food, but I'm not binging on it because my body really wants the better stuff. And I do enjoy walking, and I notice that when I can keep up with the walking, it does get easier. I feel lighter on my feet. Um, so there's things that I'm learning through all this, and I've just got to stay patient about it and keep working on it, and not to get over anxious, but make these goals and play the game to the best of my ability and hope for the best. But the great news is I'm not gaining, which is a yay! I am not gaining. I am not gaining. Praise God. Praise God. So, yep, 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 yep. A good start for this week. And I do look forward to seeing how much I weigh on Saturday. And hopefully I can start the challenge of burning 3,000 calories tomorrow. But I am definitely going to record what I eat through Fitbit. So everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. I'm just keep doing my best and be as consistent as possible. But everything is going to be okay. So anyway, I thank you so much for watching. I noticed that a few folks popped in to say hello, but I didn't have a real strong audience today. And that's probably my fault because I didn't do any live streaming last week. So, I didn't have my usual audience. And I am very sorry about that. Very, very sorry. I will give screenshots for tonight and come with you with how I'm feeling and what I'd managed to do and not do. But it probably won't be a very long video, but I will give you screenshots of like how many calories had been burned total today, whether or not I got to exercise, and how many calories I ate. So, and we will see what's what. And then tomorrow I will be with you with another live stream, and we'll just get back to the routine that we was, where I live stream every day and give you a short conclusion for the evening. And we'll just kind of keep it at that. So anyway, I do greatly appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Yins are so precious to me. You wouldn't believe how precious you are to me. And the closer I get with Father God, the more precious you all become to me. The closer I get to Father God, the more precious you are to me. And that's a good thing. That is a very good thing, because that means I've got the heart of Christ. And that makes me feel good. So anyway, I love you, and I appreciate you, and thank you very much. And I will see you tonight with the short conclusion video, screenshots, and then I will see you tomorrow in another live stream. And have a good rest of your day.